My wife mocked me in front of her friends, saying, "He's terrible in bed." Then her best friend laughed and said, "Actually, he's amazing." She panicked and started screaming. Saturday evening, we were hosting her college friends' annual gathering, the one Claire looked forward to all year. 8 women, wine flowing, cheese boards, appetizers I'd spent 3 hours preparing, laughter filling our living room. I stepped into the kitchen to grab more ice when I heard her voice carrying from the living room. Clear, confident, cruel. She wasn't even trying to be quiet. "Honestly, girls, I don't know what to do anymore. He has absolutely no idea what he's doing. It's like being with a teenager who learned everything from bad porn and thinks that's how real sex works." Laughter erupted, high-pitched, gleeful, delighted by the gossip, by the intimate betrayal. I froze by the refrigerator, ice bag in my hands, heart stopping, breath catching, everything inside me going cold. "That bad?" someone asked. Jessica, maybe, or Amanda. Hard to tell through the sudden ringing in my ears. Worse, Claire's voice. So familiar, so casual, like she was discussing a restaurant review. "He thinks he's some kind of expert, some kind of lover, like he's God's gift, but it's just awkward and mechanical and boring. Sometimes I just lay there thinking about my grocery list, or planning my day, deciding what to make for dinner, anything to pass the time until it's finally over." More laughter, louder now. Someone said, "Oh my God, Claire," in that scandalized but delighted tone. Someone else said, "You're terrible," while laughing. More details followed, details I won't repeat, about positions that didn't work, about duration, too short, apparently, about sounds I made that she found ridiculous, about things I'd said in intimate moments that she now mocked. All of it laid bare, all of it exposed, all of it used for entertainment. I stood there in my own kitchen, in the house I paid the mortgage on, ice melting in my hands, water dripping onto the floor, listening to my wife of 6 years destroy me for laughs. Claire, my wife, the woman I'd married in that ceremony by the lake, the woman I'd trusted with everything, the woman who smiled at me every morning and kissed me goodnight and said, "I love you," like she meant it, tearing me apart, humiliating me, using our most intimate moments as comedy material for her friends' amusement. I didn't storm in, didn't confront her, didn't make a scene, didn't give her what she might have wanted. Drama, emotion, reaction. I took a breath, deep breath, steadying breath, smiled, fixed my face, returned to the party with the ice like nothing had happened, played the perfect host, refilled wine glasses, brought out more food from the oven, laughed at jokes I didn't hear, made small talk I didn't remember, smiled until my face hurt, but inside, everything had changed. Everything had shifted. Something fundamental had broken. Something that wouldn't be fixed, couldn't be fixed. The man who had walked into that kitchen no longer existed. The next day, her best friend Sarah texted me, "Can we talk? It's important. Please." We met for coffee that afternoon. Sunday, 2 p.m. Small place downtown called Brew Haven. Quiet corner table, private. Sarah looked uncomfortable when she arrived, guilty even. Couldn't meet my eyes at first. Kept stirring her latte, adding sugar she didn't need, anything to avoid looking at me. "I couldn't sleep last night," she said finally, staring at her cup, voice quiet. "What Claire said about you, what she said in front of everyone, it wasn't right. You don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that kind of humiliation. It is what it is," I said, voice flat, empty, dead inside. "No, it's not." Sarah looked up, finally looked me in the eyes. "She's been complaining about you for months. Every time we meet for lunch, every girls' night, every phone call, you're her favorite topic, her favorite punching bag, her favorite joke." My stomach dropped, sank. Months? At least 6, maybe longer, maybe since the beginning, I don't know. I stopped counting, stopped listening really. She paused, bit her lip. "But Marcus, I don't think you're the problem. I think she is. I think she's the problem in this marriage. Why are you telling me this? Because someone should, because it's not fair, because you're a good person and she treats you like garbage, like you're disposable, like you don't matter." Sarah hesitated, looked down, looked up, "And because I've always thought you were different, better than she deserved. Too good for her, honestly. Way too good." Something in her tone made me look up, really look at her, see her differently, see her as more than just Claire's friend, as someone separate, someone who saw me. "I know," she said quietly, reading my expression. "She's my best friend. We've been friends since college, 15 years, roommates freshman year, in each other's weddings, but I'm tired of watching her treat you like this. Tired of watching her mock you behind your back. Tired of pretending it's okay. Tired of being complicit." We talked for 2 hours, about everything, about Claire's constant complaints, about her endless criticism of me to her friends, about how she made me the villain in every story, the incompetent husband, the disappointing partner, the joke in every anecdote, about how Sarah had always thought I seemed kind, thoughtful, patient, attentive, about how she'd always wondered why Claire couldn't see it, couldn't appreciate it, couldn't value it, about how she thought Claire was sabotaging her own marriage, pushing away something good because she didn't know how to appreciate it. When I got home that evening around 5, Claire was on the couch, scrolling her phone, didn't look up. "Where were you?" "Coffee with a friend." She didn't ask who, didn't care, just made a non-committal sound and went back to her phone, back to Instagram. Instagram, back to whatever was more interesting than her husband. Perfect. Sarah and I started meeting regularly after that. Coffee twice a week, Tuesday mornings before work, Thursday afternoons during lunch, dinner occasionally on Friday nights when Claire was working late at the law firm, or out with her own friends. Nothing physical, nothing inappropriate, not yet. Just conversation, attention, respect, interest, someone actually listening when I spoke, someone asking about my day and actually caring about the answer, someone who laughed at my jokes and remembered things I'd told her and asked follow-up questions, things Claire had stopped giving me years ago, maybe things she'd never given me at all, maybe things I'd been starving for without realizing it, but I made sure Claire noticed the changes in me, made sure she saw them, the increased texting on my phone, the smile when I got a message, the phone calls I took in another room, in the garage, in the backyard, the vague answers about where I'd been, out, meeting someone, just around, the new cologne Sarah had mentioned smelling good, something different from what I'd worn for years, the haircut Sarah had suggested would suit my face better, shorter on the sides, the new confidence that came from being appreciated, from being valued, from being seen. 2 weeks in, Claire started asking questions. You seem different lately. Suspicious. Uncertain. Do I? Innocent. Casual. More distant. Distracted. Like you're somewhere else. Maybe I'm just busy with work. Shrug. Dismissive. But her eyes said she suspected something, said she was calculating, wondering, worrying. She started checking my phone when I was in the shower, going through my messages when I was asleep, looking through my emails when I left my laptop open on the kitchen counter, searching my pockets, checking credit card statements. She found nothing. I'd been careful. Sarah and I used Signal. Messages that disappeared, communicated carefully, left no digital trail, no evidence, no proof. But the paranoia was eating at Claire. I could see it, growing, spreading, in her questions, in her suspicions, in the way she watched me, in the way she analyzed every word, every action, every expression. Good. Let it eat at her. Let it consume her. Let her feel what uncertainty feels like. 3 weeks after that first party, we hosted another gathering. Same friends, same living room, same wine, 3 bottles of red, 2 bottles of white, same appetizers, cheese board, bruschetta, stuffed mushrooms, shrimp cocktail. This time, I was ready. This time, I had a plan. I made sure Sarah and I were deep in conversation when everyone arrived, sitting close on the couch, closer than necessary, laughing, comfortable, familiar, her hand occasionally touching my arm when she made a point, me leaning in to hear her better, whispering things that made her laugh, inside jokes nobody else understood. Claire kept glancing over from across the room where she was pouring wine, her jaw tight, her smile forced, her wine glass refilling faster than usual, her laugh too loud, too forced, too desperate. During dinner, pasta primavera, Caesar salad, garlic bread, the conversation turned to relationships. Someone's sister was getting divorced after 10 years. Someone else's brother was getting engaged after dating for 6 months. Marriage is so hard, Jessica said, sighing, dramatic. You have to keep working at it constantly. It's not like the movies. It's not like romance novels. It's real work. Claire jumped in immediately. Exactly. Sometimes you have to accept that your partner has limitations, that they're never going to be perfect, that you have to lower your expectations or you'll be disappointed forever. The room went quiet, uncomfortable. This was too personal, too specific, too raw. Sarah looked at her, cool, calm, calculated. Limitations? You know what I mean. Claire waving her hand, dismissive. Things they're not good at, things you just have to live with, things that will never change no matter how much you want them to, no matter how much you try to fix them. Like what? Sarah pressed, voice sharp now, pointed. Claire took a long sip of wine. Building confidence, building courage, building momentum. Well, some men think they're amazing in bed when they're actually not. When they're actually terrible but too deluded to realize it, too proud to see reality. Several friends laughed nervously, uncomfortable laughs. Others looked away, studied their plates. Amanda checked her phone. Jessica refilled her wine glass. Karen suddenly needed the bathroom. Oh, we're doing this again? Sarah said, her voice cutting, cold, steel. Claire smiled, emboldened now, encouraged by the attention, by the audience. I'm just being honest. Some husbands need reality checks about their performance, about their abilities, about how they're actually perceived by their partners, about what their wives really think. I stayed silent, watching, waiting, playing my role, the clueless husband, the oblivious target, the joke who doesn't know he's the punchline. That must be so frustrating for you, Sarah said slowly, deliberately. You have no idea. Claire leaning forward now, animated. I've tried to hint, tried to guide him, tried to teach him, but he doesn't get it. Proud of himself. So confident, so sure he's good. It would be funny if it wasn't so pathetic, if I didn't have to live with it. The friends were frozen now, deer in headlights. This had gone way too far, way past acceptable, but nobody knew how to stop it. Nobody knew how to intervene without making it worse. That's when Sarah leaned back in her chair and smiled that knowing smile. That cat with the canary smile. That smile that said everything. Funny you should say that. Expression shifted, transformed, confident to uncertain, proud to suspicious, smile fading. Sarah glanced at me, then back at Claire, held her gaze, steady, unflinching. It means maybe you're not the best judge of your husband's silent, dead silent. Even the background music seemed to stop. Even the air seemed to still. Claire's face changed, color draining, voice uncertain. Sarah, what are you saying? I'm saying that perhaps the problem isn't him. Perhaps the problem is you. You're the one who doesn't know what you're doing. Perhaps you're the one who's inadequate. Perhaps you're the one who's terrible in bed and blaming him for your own failures. How would you know? Claire's voice had an edge now. Dangerous, panicked, shaking. Pulled out her phone, unlocked it slowly, deliberately, set it on the table face down between them, right in the center, right where everyone could see. Everyone stared at it like it was a bomb, a grenade with the pin pulled, a weapon about to detonate. 'Cause I asked him myself, her chair scraping loudly against the hardwood floor, wine sloshing over the rim of her glass, spilling on the white tablecloth, red stains spreading, talking about. Everything you said was true. If he was really as terrible as you claimed, as bad as you described to all of us, to everyone who would listen, to anyone who'd pay attention to your complaints. The blood drained from Claire's face. Actually drained. White as paper, white as snow. What did you do? Sarah, what did you do? Sarah's smile widened. Cruel now. Satisfied? Victorious. Truth about what? Claire's voice rising. Cracking. Breaking. About whether your husband is actually terrible in bed, or if you're just a terrible judge, or a terrible partner, or a terrible wife, or all three. Then at Sarah, then at the phone on the table, trembling, visible tremors. Tell me you didn't. I swear to God. Swear what? Her phone. Held it casually, like it was nothing, like it wasn't a nuclear bomb. Treating him like garbage? That you'll stop mocking him to your friends? That you'll stop humiliating him? Bit late for that, don't you think? Damage is done. Claire's hands were shaking harder now, her whole body vibrating, voice desperate, pleading. Show me that phone, right now. Show me what's on that phone. Afraid of what you'll see? Afraid of what I found out? Afraid of what I discovered about your husband? Show me right now. Sarah held up the phone, turned it slowly, so Claire could see the screen, so everyone could see her reaction. Screen showed a text thread, photos, timestamps, messages, intimate messages. Messages that left nothing to the imagination. Claire grabbed the phone, ripped it from Sarah's hand, yanked it, started scrolling, frantically, desperately, fingers shaking, eyes widening with each swipe. Her face went from white to red to purple. A progression of horror, eyes widening, mouth opening, breath catching. Oh my God! Oh my God! This isn't... You didn't... This can't be... When did... How did... She threw the phone at Sarah. Hard, violent. It bounced off her shoulder and clattered onto the table. Screen cracking. Turned to me with wild eyes. Mascara already running. Makeup smearing. Voice breaking. Tell me this isn't real. Tell me she's lying. Tell me this is some kind of sick joke. Tell me you didn't do this. Voice level. Emotionless. You slept with my best friend. You cheated on me. With Sarah. With my best friend since college. You had an affair. Table gasped. Shocked. Horrified. Scandalized. Phones coming out. Recording probably. This would be everywhere by morning. Deliberately. Theatrically. Walked over to where I was sitting. Put her hand on my shoulder. Possessive. Claiming. Owning Claire dead in the eye. And said the words that ended everything. Actually, he's amazing.